Hey guys, welcome to, what is this, part 4 of my discord.py making a bot in Discord video. This is now the 5th video I'm making despite being part 4, again because of part 2.5, but whatever. Sorry for not posting this video right away. What had happened is I recorded and made a mistake in my video, and this was after I had rendered it and edited it and all of that, and then I just sort of got lazy and that chucked me out of my routine, and yeah, so now I'm making the video. But today we're just going to be going over how to make a pretty simple clear command. What this is going to do is essentially you'll type it in a channel and it'll clear X amount of messages from that channel. Alright, so first thing we want to do is create our command. So we give it the decorator client.command, and we put the little parentheses or brackets. I'm going to call them brackets just because I've always called them brackets. And I've mentioned before that you can change certain attributes within these brackets. We haven't done that in the past, but for this video we will. So just keep that in mind. So the attribute that we're going to change is pass context, and we're going to set that to true. That's all you have to do. Just pass context equals true. Then we want to define our command. So async def clear. And since we're passing context, we need to pass it into the function. So we'll just pass this ctx variable into the function. That's just how discord.py passes it in. And we will also want to pass the amount of messages we want to delete. Now you can set a default amount of messages to delete in the event that the user does not pass in a specific amount of messages they want to delete. So, you know, normally you'd be using .clear5, .clear10, something like that if you want to clear a specific amount. But if they just type .clear, you might want to have it default to something like, I don't know, maybe 100. Maybe they're just trying to quickly clear out large amounts of messages, and we'll actually do that. So our amount by default will be set to 100, and however it can be overwritten when passing it into the function colon. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to first get the channel that we've sent the command in. And essentially how that works is we'll just create a channel variable and we'll say ctx message channel. Pretty straightforward. It's pretty similar to when we created our on message event back in our events video, except now you have this ctx right here, and that's just the context of the command that you passed in or that you typed. It's just using that to obtain bits of information. So now that we have our channel, we want to create a sort of list of messages that we want to delete so that we can sort of delete them in bulk. And essentially that's pretty simple. We're just going to say messages equals an empty list. Pretty straightforward. And now for this next part, we just want to iterate through the messages in a channel. And to do that, we're actually going to refer to the API reference right here. We're going to be using this function. It's called logs_from, and essentially it says it returns a generator that obtains logs from a specific channel or a specified channel. And as you can see, if you scroll down, it has Python 3.5 usage. That's what I'm coding in. And we simply just have to say async for messaging client.logs, then specify the channel and the limit, which would be how many messages we want to iterate through, and then just run whatever the heck you want. So let me move this back there. Alright, so essentially what we're going to want to do is just async for message in client.logs from, and we're just going to pass in our channel, and the limit is going to be equal to the amount. Right? Now hold on, this isn't quite perfect yet. Excuse me. The amount parameter is passed into the command functions as a string. So we will need to convert this to an integer. And to do that, we simply just type int and put the brackets around it. Pretty straightforward. And all we're going to want to do is message or messages dot append, and just append each message. And essentially what this will do is we will specify an amount of messages we want to iterate through, and then this function will get us all of those messages, and for each of those messages we'll throw them into a message or an empty list that we've called messages. Then all we want to do is await client.delete messages and just pass in the messages list. So essentially what the delete messages function does is it deletes a list of it deletes a list of message objects from the specified channel, which is essentially what we're doing there. We're going through the channel, taking however many messages we want to get rid of, and then just passing them into the delete messages function. And we could say something afterwards like, I don't know, await client.say messages deleted. Pretty straightforward, and that will just tell us that the command is run successfully. So let's run it. Open in browser. Just waiting on the onReady. You don't have to do that again, but I just like to. Bot's ready, so you go over here. So let's type in some messages. This is a test and .clear. So that's 4 messages. So we're going to want to clear 4. Boom. Okay, so here's something important to know. When you're clearing messages, the actual command is sent as a message before before the command is run. That's why when you create a command, if you remember in the part 3 video, the one where I showed you the official way to create commands, I believe I mentioned that the onMessage function takes or has priority over commands being run, and that's why when we were running our commands, the onMessage function or the onMessage code would be run before the command code, and you had to say and you had to sort of specify that you wanted the messages to be processed as commands afterwards in order for them to be checked. And so this is sort of a real-world application, or not a real-world application, but a real-world demonstration of that sort of effect, because it now sent itself as a message and only deleted 4 of them. So technically, since we have 2 messages here, if we wanted to clear all of them, we could say clear 3. And the reason I say 3 is because our clear command will be sent as a message, so therefore we'll have 3, and it'll clear all 3 of them. Just like that, all messages were deleted. Now, if you don't want that to happen, you could say limit equals integer amount plus 1. I personally don't like to, just because it sort of messes around with things, and it happens when you just cause more problems for yourself when passing in things like clear 0 or clear 1. Which, keep in mind, by the way, if you're creating your clear command this way, delete messages has to delete more than, or at least 2 messages. So if you try to do clear 1, that won't work. If you try to do clear 0, that definitely won't work. And just keep in mind that the code that I'm showing you here is really just sort of the core of how the command works. It's not taking into account the fact that a user could type in something like clear 4.5, for example, and obviously that couldn't be converted to an integer and it would cause an error, right? So I'm sort of relying on you guys to sort of create those error checks, and I'm just sort of showing you how you would actually go about clearing the commands, in this example at least. So just make sure you have your error checks and things like that. You can just throw in a bunch of if statements, or you can do try, except, whatever the heck you want. It really doesn't make a difference, but that's essentially how you create a clear command. So let's quickly go over what we did. So first we just created our command as seen in the past videos, except in this video we passed context into the command. It's pretty straightforward. You'll actually use this pass context true, or pass context equals true, a lot more, because it's extremely useful. And you'll definitely want to take a lot of message attributes, and this is just a really nice way of doing it. As well as we've also learned how to use this client.logsFrom function, as well as client.delete messages. So all pretty straightforward stuff. Again, you can always look back to the discord.py documentation website. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Just leave in the comments, oh, excuse me again, any suggestions you have for future videos. I've noticed I've gotten a couple comments recently, but you know, slowly but surely we'll get these videos around to more people. But again, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye.